our Valentine's Day 9 o'clock meeting. Good to see each one of you here. If you would, just please silence your electronic devices. A little piece of trivia. I understand Ash Wednesday and Valentine fell on the same day. This has not occurred since 1945. Work that into your conversations today. If you would, please stand. Commissioner Bray is going to lead us in our invocation.
Heavenly Father, we come to Thee right now in the name of Jesus, thanking You for allowing us this opportunity to assemble here once more and again. We ask that we decrease while You increase in us, and anoint us with Your Holy Spirit. Empower us with Your guidance, wisdom, and knowledge, that we may be able to make wise decisions for Meriwether County. Then, Father, we pray that You will continue to bless each of our communities, giving them a good quality of life. And if it be Thy will, Father, we pray that others will see Meriwether County as a desirable place to come to work, live, and play. Father, as we adjourn this meeting, we ask that You will give each of us traveling grace. These things and all things we ask of You in Jesus Christ's name's sake. And we will be so careful to give You all the praise, all the glory, and all the honor. Amen.
Amen. Our pledge of allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. It comes that time when we adopt our agenda, and I know that we have one item under new business, and that's to read the proclamation that's been placed here before me. Is there something else, Rob?
Yes, sir. We have a acceptance of a right-of-way deed and easement on Justin Bullock Road.
Acceptance of Justin Bullock right-of-way. Do I hear a motion that we include these two items in our agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? So passes. We have the minutes here from our work session back on January the 23rd, as well as our regular meeting minutes. If you've had an opportunity to read these, and I'm sure you have, I'd like to have a motion they be accepted.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? So passes. It looks like we're up to municipal comments here. Mayor Glover, I got you right there.
Good morning. The only thing I had, you already stole from me, was Ash Wednesday Valentine. Since 1945. I do want to say happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And I know you see me in green, and I thought this was the day Lucifer was planting the tree. So I was going to represent the trees too. So I did.
And there's something about great minds being on the same wavelength. Mayor Hancock from Luthersville.
Well, as I'm sure all of y'all know, my name is Ginger Valentine. I grew up with Valentine's Day being offered special in our family. So anyway, so yes, we're celebrating Valentine's Day in Luthersville today, but also tomorrow is the Arbor Day celebration. And Ms. Penla, traveling as well as Bob, worked for years. And so our city is a 13-year tree city. There's a good bit of paperwork that goes along with that, and also a good bit of planting trees. So we've done some work around City Hall. We have planted some new things in honor of Mr. Trammell and Ms. Trammell. So we will be having a celebration there tomorrow at noon. You're all invited, and we have made this big new tree plaque for Mr. Trammell in honor of our 13 years of Arbor Day. So y'all are all welcome to come. It's at noon at City Hall.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Doug Westbury of Manchester.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity, but I have nothing to share, with the exception this is the first Ash Wednesday and Valentine's Day I've been on Earth.
I wish I had thought to put that in. Have I got another municipality?
Mr. Coach.
But the mayor's with him. Oh, okay.
Thanks.
All right, constitutional officers, I think we're up to that. Have I got any here today? I don't believe I do. We will start with the department heads. Skip, I see your knee.
Nothing this time, Chairman.
Okay, Brent?
Nothing this time, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I appreciate that. We did get a few Madam Chairmans last time.
I know, for some reason we're trying to call you
Sean?
Senior Chairman. Senior Chairman.
I just want to say we had a good time at our pancake breakfast
Yes.
a couple weeks ago at the County Line Cafe. I appreciate everybody that came out and supported everything out there. We wound up raising about $850 to help the animals with medical needs they need. We're in the process of putting on a dog walk run at Lake Meriwether, going to be in May 19th. Everybody be watching and sign up for that, come join us for that. If I just keep watching all the different things, we've done 32 adoptions in the month of January, which is pretty good. Normally it's averaging about 15 in January and February. Got about 25 animals going to go out on transport next week. Besides that, if anybody wants a puppy, we got plenty of them down at the shelter. Come on down and get you one.
Thank you, Sean. Alphonse? Okay, Rod, anything?
The people walking dead called me yesterday, let me know they'll be back in the county next one. And they're interested in filming a lot more places in Maryland County.
Oh, wow.
They're just filming a selected location, but then they're going to travel over the county and pick out those locations, including the Dakota Bridge. And I said, well, you can look at this, but there'll be no pyrotechnics at all on that bridge.
Got that right.
They're looking all over the county. We're filming a lot more here in Maryland County.
Okay. And they always seem to uphold our ordinance with no problem.
They do.
Very
They
good.
do problem with it.
Patty? Nothing at all. Wait a minute, there's a rumor going around that y'all are looking at voting machines. Very expensive voting machines. Is there anybody else out there? Let me see, I think it covered it. Yes.
Well, Mr. Chairman, Carolyn McKinnon couldn't be with us this morning, but she's here in spirit. She'd asked.
You're filling in for Carol.
We're filling in for Carolyn. She wanted to remind everybody that Brian Kemp will be at the RVIC on Thursday, February 22nd, around 3 p.m. They're just allowing use of the space. It's open to the public, and he'll be in town for about an hour. Business after hours is Thursday, February 15th, 5:30 p.m. at the Warm Springs Cellars, which is a new business in Warm Springs. Meeting with community leaders is March 9th at 10 a.m. here in the County Admin Building, and it will be facilitated by Jim Luther and George Powell. So wanted to mention that to you guys, and so I feel my commitment to Carolyn.
Well, I appreciate you doing it. Any other comments? Yes, Sean.
I had one more thing I forgot. We also received 3,165 cans of soft food for cats and dogs from Meriwether County Schools. They've done a food drive, and in 3 weeks' time, they raised 3,165 cans of food to donate to the shelter.
That is very good. Let's see, we have no need for public hearing. Old business. Appointment to the Airport Authority, District 5. Are we ready?
Yeah, I need to table that, please.
Table. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? So tabled. Appointment to Recreation Advisory Board, District 5. Are we ready with this?
Yes, I'd like to reappoint Michael Lear.
Michael Lear.
I'll second.
And there's a second. Any discussion? All in favor? So passes. Our new ordinance, 2018-01, which is a firearm discharge ordinance, we're scheduled to have our first reading today. Is there any reason we don't proceed? Go ahead, Ms. Susan.
We're prepared to go forward. This is an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of Meriwether County, Georgia, specifically amending Chapter 5.5 Criminal Misconduct to regulate the discharge of firearms on or near neighboring properties, to promote the safety, welfare, and personal rights of the citizens of Meriwether County, to restate and reaffirm the Code of Ordinances of Meriwether County, Georgia as modified herein, to provide for severability, to establish an effective date, and for other purposes. And Farron may want to go into it further, but basically this is just to make sure that our neighbors are good to us and we're good to them.
That's the purpose of it, and we have actually spoken with a representative of a national organization that's involved in, Second Amendment rights, and they have no problem whatsoever. So, and a lot of counties have it in similar ordinances. Just reminds us to be good neighbors.
So we can mark that off as the first reading complete. Appointment to Region 6 Department of Behavioral Health and Development Disabilities Board. Are we ready with anything here?
Yes, I have that. I'd like to reappoint both Marlene Roselle. She has served on this board, and in talking with her, she was very much interested in continuing. They finally have gotten her some training. She knows a little bit more about what she needs to do, and when she finishes in about the next 6 months, she would like to come before the board and give us a report and an update of what they are actually doing. So with that said, I'd like to make a motion that we reappoint Marlene Roselle.
Okay.
I'll second.
We have Marlene for, in a second here. Any discussion at all? All in favor? Marlene is on the board. At this time, we can go to new business. And the first item here is confirmation of the updated GDOT February 02-018-199 radar list that we have a copy of here. Mr. Yates, would you like to?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I'll be happy to do that. The Sheriff's Office had asked for GDOT to update the radar list, and they have done this. And they indicate here that they've already reviewed it, and they attached the updated radar list for Meriwether County. And it does say, please note that this list includes owned system roads for the city of Lewisville. So we'll be sure that Lewis will get a copy of this. And the change here was made at the request of the Sheriff's Department. We reviewed these, and we would recommend that the board accept this as the official radar list for Meriwether County.
Do I hear a motion that we accept the presented list as our official list?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? So passes. And on the SPLOST discussion, I think, Mr. Gay, you're up.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And I'm going to call on Mr. Gregory for a lot of the discussion. But we have this back before you today. We're just want to know if the board would desire for us to move forward to developing this program and project list and budgets and a variety of things. Consideration of placing this on the ballot in November. We would need to have everything in place, including all of our legal, ballot language before July. So that the way that the clock is ticking this year, we didn't want to wait too late. So we really want to know if you guys are interested in that. We're not really ready to discuss any projects in detail today, but I think Bill has some information to share.
You've got a list in your packet of, over a period of 3 or 4 months, dating back to the budget retreat, we developed a list with 30 line items on it. Some of these are on here we've already taken care of, like the voting machines. I think we've already got those, haven't we, Patty?
Yes.
We can take that one off. If you would,
Mr. Bill, we may not better speak so fast. Patty, there's some new ones we may have to pick up.
Yeah, thanks to the state.
Thanks to the state.
thanks to the
Very spendy, I am told.
Thanks to the state, we also have some new equipment that we're going to have to get for the tax commissioner's office as well. Oh, how we love unfunded mandates.
Yeah, that's right.
And this probably gonna have to happen before this SPLOST would even go into effect.
Absolutely.
Because we got 2
Yeah,
years
you're
before
right.
it would go.
This one will go into effect 2020.
Yeah, so.
But if you would, just review that list and select ones that you can kind of prioritize. And if there's something up that's not on there, bring it to our attention as well. I also included some information on the SPLOST that we're in right now, giving you county projects as well as the cities, the percentages, the county receives and percentage the municipality receives. As you know, the last go around, the board and the voters elected to issue to get the money up front in the supplies. The amount of that, those bonds were $9 million, and we'll pay back almost $860,000 in interest over the period of the bonds. And in talking with Terry and our financial advisor, we think maybe this time that we'll not do that. We'll just, as the money comes in, we'll use it and not float the bonds.
Not floating on.
Yeah, I think it would be, I'd like to say that $860,000 in interest and not use it. What we could do, excuse me, for major line items is to set up an arrangement with the bank similar to the TAN. That we, have a floating line of credit to borrow money if we need to, and then pay it back quickly and more. We'll pay some interest, but it won't, nothing compared to the interest on bonds if we issue bonds.
And that would be on projects that say you want to go ahead and do right then instead of waiting for your dollars to build up.
Right.
And, so that would be the reason to borrow or, partial. I agree with Bill. I don't think we need to look at funding on
I
that.
don't know of anything that's on this list that we absolutely have to do.
Well, I like that a whole lot better. Why pay that kind of?
It will involve, as usual, it'll involve more work on our part, but I think it will work in that way.
Transportation is a major component of this, and you really have to wait on the state funding because we use it as match. So there's really no need in borrowing dollars that you're not going to spend for 5 or 6 years to match your So anyway, that's
And we'll meet with the cities pretty soon to go over that with them as well.
And the taxpayers in the county do pay.
So if it is the desire of the board, we'll go ahead and move forward to try to put together, this package and we can bring it back. We'll have certainly a lot more discussion, but at least it'll give us a direction if we do this. And it would be on the ballot. It would not take effect until the other one expires. It would just simply be a continuation, not a new sales tax. It's just a continuation of what is existing.
If for some reason it doesn't pass, it allows us one more time to do it before it would run out.
That's right. That's correct.
So there's really no action you really need.
I just really need direction from you guys. If y'all are fine with it, we'll do it, and then we'll put everything together and then bring that back to it. Okay, all right.
I think it's unanimous.
Thank y'all. We appreciate that.
Go back to the sheet here. Number 3, we're going to accept the property from GDOT for the Woodbury Fire Station, and I believe that deed is on the back here. Quickly,
Yes, I want to thank Bill for all his work in getting that done. He stayed really on top of it, kind of pushing to get it on in. The only thing that it is a quit claim deed, and I've spoke to county attorney this morning. She's going to take a look at that because being a quit claim deed, there's a limited transfer of, there's no warranted title.
Correct.
But we're going to check all that out and make sure before we start. That'll be in phase 2 of our construction process. So we'll have some time to get all the titles.
all you need is us to accept your deed. Do I hear a motion, we accept the quit claim deed for the fire station in Woodbury?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion at all? All in favor? So passed. The next item on the agenda is to extend the moratorium, which I think regarding road closures, which goes through March right now. You want to go to?
I'd like to go through September 1st. We just have been so busy, we haven't had a chance to get that.
To address it?
Right, yes, sir.
Commission, what's your flavor here?
I make a motion, we extend the moratorium till September 1st.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion at all? All in favor? So passed.
Mr. Chairman, I'll say that if we could finish that before September.
You can come back and let us know.
Take the, moratorium off.
Well, I'm proud of the way we moved through that. You know what? You're exactly right. I jumped over. I was too happy. And I didn't want to have
So
to.
just don't drag the rest of
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I'm gonna drag it out. What I've got here is a proclamation. As I read it, you'll understand what the proclamation is all about. A proclamation to recognize the 144th anniversary of the Trinity CME Church of the Durant community in Meriwether County, Georgia. Whereas the Trinity CME Church of the Durant community in Meriwether County is celebrating its 144th anniversary during 2018, and whereas prior to 1874, the church began as a brush arbor where people in the rural community of Meriwether County would gather to worship outside around the trees since there was no building. And whereas a church was built in 1874 in Durant and was later destroyed by a storm and then rebuilt, and whereas in 1967 the church purchased and renovated the old Durant School building, which is now their current location at 77 Trinity Street, and whereas for the past 144 years, the mission and activities of Trinity CME Church have been maintained by its committed and dedicated members. And whereas Pastor Willie Williams, Elder Dale Sanders, Bishop Kenneth W. Carter, Chairman of the Stewards, Jasper Ellison, and Chairman of the Trustees, Linda Crowder, have provided ministry and support to the members, loved ones, and friends, and now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners honor and congratulate Trinity CME Church on the 144th anniversary. Signed and sealed on this 14th day of February 2018. Do we have anybody from the church here today? Well, I guess that enters the record. Okay, the very next thing is the acceptance of the junction building right-of-way.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, we've been trying to finish out all of our right-of-way on the projects, and we're able this past weekend to pick up the final deed, and this is really just a right-of-way and permanent easement deed for completion of the culvert at Justice Boulevard. And this is from Darren and Angela Hicks, and we would recommend acceptance of this and placement in the county.
Do I hear a motion we accept the right-of-way?
So moved.
Second? Second. Any discussion at all? All in favor? I got it out of the way. All right, we're up to report for Finance Director. Mr. Bill, you're on.
Okay, I've got a few things to share with you. First of all, is the bank balance. You've got the report in front of you. General funds at $3.3 million. Fire bond fund at $3.4 million. Still have that $900,000 plus in the landfill account that we haven't forgotten about.
Okay.
Back burner. Also, you've got the property tax analysis at 12/31. The current year is collections of almost 88%, which at the end of the year, I think that's pretty good. The milestone is 95% before the next digest can be done. I think that's around June 1st or so. I think she's on track to be able to get that done. Phyllis got $190,000 in 2016 when it remains uncollected, so we're chipping away at that. I think last month of December she collected about $30,000 of that, so they're continuing to chip away at that. Any questions? I'll just mention some other things that we're working on. DMAX building, as you know, the rent that the state pays, a portion of that rent goes into a capital improvement fund. Right now it's about $108,000, and they've come to us asking us to do some renovation in that building. And we're got an architect looking at just some cosmetic kind of things, or carpet painting and those kind of things, and they're getting prices together to do that right now. As you know, there was some damage done to Manchester and Greenfield health departments on the same day. A lady ran into the Manchester building with a car, had water damage in Greenville. Kind of ironic on the same day. Anyway, Manchester's almost complete. They're waiting on the window to get it installed and finish there. Greenville, we're running into some difficulties reconciling the difference between the adjuster's estimate and the contractor's estimate. And I talked to both of them yesterday, and Beverly kind of directed, to get that number set. But due to the emergency conditions of that, we've gone ahead and asked the contractor to begin work, and he's having materials in this week and start Monday next week to get that done, because health department's not able to see any patients there at all.
How far apart are they between the contractors?
They're about $5,000-6,000.
Nothing significant.
They're both committed to get that number down. Trail grant, I'll just mention.
Hold on just a minute, Mr. Chairman, we have a question from the floor. Mayor Glover.
Health department, can you give me any idea maybe when it will open, because they're calling us as if it's a Greenville Health Department, and it's not. So do you have maybe any estimated time on when?
I really don't want to say when, really don't know.
Thank you.
As soon as I got a time period, I'll give you a call and let you know.
I'll forward the calls to you.
Yeah.
Health department.
Continue, Mr. Mills.
Trail grant, I won't steal any of you guys' thunder, but we are proceeding there. I gave you a drawing of
Yes, you did.
what we think might be the answer on the bathroom renovation. Some other grants we're working on, GMA has a yearly grant they give us called the work plan. The funds this year were finishing up the generator installation for the fuel pumps, so that in Greenville, so the power goes off, we'll be able to use the gas pumps. Some work in the EOC, and familiar with that building, there's a room upstairs that I think the warden of the prison used for office. We're going to convert that to a bunk room. So in the event there's a 2 or 3 day occurrence, we'll have a place to sleep, instead of trying to go back and forth. We've got the U.S. Department of Agriculture grant that we're going to use in the courthouse wall, upgrade, parking lot, several different things. So we're working on 2 FEMA grants. The culverts is a couple of years old, and the Irma flood damage back in September. We also applied for a grant through GMA to update our hazard mitigation plan. And Brent's working on another grant with GMA to be able to buy generators, hopefully for some of the fire stations. That's about it. Unless Alfonso, you got any grants that you're working on?
We have a small grant, with the EMS right now. I think we have submitted White House Subs grants, another small grant, but nothing else, nothing.
Okay. Water Authority, working on a grant for maybe 2 grants, one to fund the water feasibility study, and the second one is to provide funding to do some additional water piping. And the last one is the airport grant that everybody's speaking about. And I mentioned those just to let the board know that we are working on grants, trying to take advantage of grants that are out there. Sometimes we hear comments made in different meetings that alluding to the fact that there's a perception that we're not looking for grants, and that's just not true. We are looking for as many grants as we can take advantage of, but as Darren can attest to, it takes a lot of work to apply for those grants and then to administer them.
If I can add to that too, sometimes on these grants, once you research it, you're actually opening the county up to more than what would benefit from the grant, as far as just keeping up with it, funding and so forth.
Sometimes they're like seed money grants, and you have to continue to vote. One other grant is the tire grant, which we have been approved for, and how much? $8,500, which is good. And we're going to, there's a cleanup day that's coming soon. Ms. Jane, I know, has been working on that, and she could not be here this morning. She had other engagement. But well, I'm going to meet with her, Bill and myself, and we're going to try to stage that where we can use that as for Retire Amnesty Day as well, and try to collect as many as we can. So
I think
That's all I have.
that's all you have. Continue, Mr. Theron. You have
Okay.
some over there.
Yes, sir, thank you. Just just very quickly, we, on our fire stations, we had a pre-bid meeting for our first phase, which is 4 fire stations. We had 19 people come for our thing, and that is fantastic. I mean, it was really good. We had a lot of attention, I would say all around, with a lot of the contractor companies. We had lots of subs to call who were trying to get names of the general contractors. And very good. We were very, very pleased. Some very, well-known contractors there, some that are not so well-known, but a lot of local presence as well. So, we're very happy with that. We're going to hopefully, maybe your first meeting in March, we will be coming back with you guys for, award of a bid. That's our plan. Unless the contracts are so detailed, it takes us a little while to analyze it, but I think we'll be fine with that. The road striping, they're going to get started on that very soon. I reworked the road numbers yesterday, and I think we could actually pick up about 4 or 5 more miles of road striping. So I've already talked to Tyrell, and he's got a couple other roads to add to that list. So we'll get that going. Been working with GDOT Aviation on phase 2 of the project there. Our service delivery strategy, which we have to complete this year as well. We have that scheduled for, I think, tomorrow with the city. So we're probably going to use that opportunity Bill suggested, maybe we'll get everybody together. We can also briefly talk about SPLOST as well. So that is going to be coming.
What time is it?
That is 3 o'clock. Yes, sir.
Did you hear from all the cities?
We have, yes, ma'am. Allison's been very diligent in contacting all the cities and trying to get, we don't necessarily have to have the mayor, we just need somebody that can represent the city. Our plan is going to be to take, the service delivery strategy is about, half-inch thick or better. And it covers a lot of services. What we really want to do is go ahead and pare that down. We want to take a look at the ones that there's no, it's very clear on, who does what, how the delivery comes. And what we'll do is we'll just check those off. And then the ones that we need further discussion on, we'll bring back and we'll get the elected officials at that time, and we'll go over those. Everybody's going to have to execute this, and we need to do it, and I'd like to do it, in conjunction with our comprehensive plan. And so, we've got that. Speaking of the comprehensive plan, the steering committee meeting, it went well. I think it dragged a little bit because I thought we tried to get into maybe a little too much detail on it that day. And but it was fine. We're going to pick up the pace a little bit on it. We still need to leave time in our schedule to have our public hearings and public input sessions as well. So I think that's an important part of it. So I attended the Recreation Board meeting, attended the Lake Meriwether meeting, which I know Mr. Chairman's going to talk about a little bit more. And it's been an incredibly busy few weeks, and but we get some good things done. So thank y'all for working with us and helping us in your support. Thank you.
At this time, we are going to hear from our county commissioners. Commissioner Bridget.
Just a couple of things.
Sure.
There.
Yes, sir.
When do you think we could meet with that grant writer
I can
about the water?
I can set that up.
I'm free for a little bit.
You are.
So let me go ahead and do that.
And while we're doing that, you want to also, while you have a little break, you want to also talk about the solid waste.
Okay, that's on here too, yes.
All right, good deal.
So if we can get her scheduled down here next week,
Okay,
any day except Monday.
any day except Monday. Okay. All right.
I got to go to Auburn Monday. And also I see where the Cove Road has been marked for pothole repair.
That's right.
And Upper Cove Road. Also LL Rebel, which connects right there.
Right.
I know Tyrell went out and patched one area, but the patch is already gone on LL Road. And I rode there yesterday, there's about 6 huge holes that need to be patched on LL Road. So while they're right there in that area, if they can do that at the same time.
All right, we'll make sure they get that done.
And that's all I have.
Okay. And we'll get the grant writer, and we'll also schedule some time to talk about this on this.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
I don't have anything. I'd just like to take the opportunity to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor. I have just a few items here I'm going to run through, and part of it I believe you, Ms. Smith. I am going to mention just one thing about the NRA representative. We picked him up and let him view the work that we've done up at the shooting range. He was very impressed. You should have seen the smile on his face. He said, y'all gonna have one of the nicest ones in Georgia. So I was amazed that we got that kind of response. But anyway, we are working on that, and he was also very gracious in telling us there's other grants out there that the NRA sponsors that we can get, so we'll probably be looking at that. And I noticed in the email that trash on the sides of the roads in the county is not unique to Meriwether. I believe it was Pierce County. The county manager has sent out a list, it was kind of an interrogatory. What are y'all doing? We've got all these problems, and what can you do to help us alleviate? So it sounds like it's pretty unique to the state as a whole.
Yeah, I sent that to you guys because I thought we'll understand. I'll also send you all the responses on that too.
I would like to see.
Yeah, I was hoping
Let's see.
people would respond to everyone when they get responses.
Usually it's a lot of responses, so I'll send those. I'll probably wait till the end until they all are together.
Yeah.
And then I'll send it to you guys as well.
One thing I was asked to mention, the Habitat for Humanity kids from St. Mary's over in Maryland will be coming down in the middle of March, so y'all get prepared. You know, we do that little thing where each one of us, or each organization, different ones in the county, try to prepare a meal while they're here building the house. So just a heads up, that's all that is. One thing I would like to bring up is the Lake Meriwether meeting last night. We did several things. We have discovered if we take the trail to exactly where we want to take it, bring it back and double it out, we can get a little over 6.5 miles of that. So that and the discussion of the ADA trail, which is going to be down below the dam primarily, I thought that went pretty well. Our big topic was what Mr. Bill just handed me was the blueprint for the bathrooms. We had a little larger print, I guess, that was over the old footprint there, over the old slab. And we got some bids in and we just couldn't handle. Some of the bids exceeded our entire grant money. So we went back to the drawing board, and I think we have a much more concise plan. And these things will be around. If you'd ever like to see one, I'll supply you with one if nobody else. But we're trying to get the ADA accessibility built in to one of the bathrooms, in which we're doing. Last night there was a suggestion, this was you, Mr. Bill, just do away with the AC. The campers say we just don't have, when we go to different campsites, it's just not worth having AC in the
That
bathroom.
might be true for the campers, but the other people who use the park summertime.
That might be true, but that was their suggestion.
Okay.
I can only give you what they tell me. And the other thing that they suggested also was, since we're going to have the instant or on-demand hot water heaters, just a simple propane heater would probably be all the heat we would ever need. And the other thing was shifting the door off of the primary ADA bathroom out to that other area there right across, and it would give that whole space back there that could be used as ADA if you needed to. That was the only 3 suggestions I remember from that.
And I had one other about coming out, since we eliminated HVAC and turning this area here into area as well. Only problem with that door is you're going to eliminate your urinal there.
Well, I think that may be, this is just suggestions, we'll have to wait when I'm out.
How much does the HVAC cost?
Roughly. 35,000.
I think it'd be worth it, because you're gonna
people just there for like Peaches in the Pines, just want to go up and use the restroom. Being climate controlled will be nice. I mean, it doesn't have to be the freezer.
Just to give y'all a taste of the price, one of the bids was $118,000. I mean, that's $118,000.
For that.
Yes, yes.
We
That's
done
why
a lot
we
of
went
work
backwards.
to pare that way down and, yeah, and I think it's going to be well. Mr. Chairman, one other thing we mentioned, February the 24th, we're going to have our trail work day.
That is true.
We'll do some blazing.
Going to do some blazing.
We're gonna try to complete the blazing, and at that time, one of our members on the board is gonna bring the Boy Scouts in and let them do some work. Kind of pruning back, paring back, whatever needs to be done once we get everything
We're
marked.
gonna bring in, I think his name, out here, Jim.
Jim Maybon?
Yeah.
Yes, he can help.
They expressed interest in building some bridges across the bridges back in
And
there.
we're gonna need some of that.
So we'll bring it to that as well.
We're probably going to go down, I know,
Friday after that.
yeah, Friday, because I know Bill's got some of the crews lined up to clear that first area there. And it was suggested that we kind of look at that first entrance again to avoid as much wet area as we can. So we'll probably do that on Friday.
Just kind of circumvent some of that if we can.
What y'all got laid out now is great.
Yeah, I think it's really good. We'll try to extend that to maximum.
You just didn't know what trailblazers we were, did you?
Hardest thing was finding those T-posts in there, but we found virtually every one of them.
And they move according to elevation, so it's hard. You can't just line of sight won't do it. Commissioner Neely Hadley.
Just have a couple of things. I did have the opportunity to meet with the City of Warm Springs and their council on Monday night. You know, there's been a lot of changes there in leadership, and just made them aware of the times that we meet and encourage them to send someone to our meetings and also to send someone to the comp plan. So, comprehensive plan meeting. So I hope we'll see some participation there. I did meet with the Keep Meriwether Beautiful group last week, and that cleanup date is April the 21st. And registration forms will be available on March 1st, so we're hoping that people will get up a team, to pick a road, pick an area to clean. The dumpsters will be out, and we'll be looking for volunteers to man those dumpsters. And then, like I said, we hope to be able to do the tire program at the same time. I think that's it. Happy Valentine's Day.
Very good. Miss Susan, you're on.
Isn't Easter on April Fool's Day this year too?
It is.
I thought that was pretty interesting. Happy Easter, everybody. April Fool's Day is good.
Imagine the eggs you'll
I know, right? Some kids may be in for a rough morning. But anyway, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And we do have a need for an executive session for legal, personnel, and real estate.
Okay, y'all have got that. Public comment, do we have anybody signed up? I understand representatives from the DA's office are here. Is there any comments y'all would like to make?
Well, he is not here, but I am the coordinator of mental health court for the Coweta Judicial Circuit. And right now, it includes Troup County since 2012, and Carroll County just came on board in July of last year. And essentially what we wanted to do today is just give you some information about drug court and mental health court.
Would you like to come on up to the...
Sure, absolutely. Thank you.
And what was your name?
Tiffany Hutchinson.
Tiffany, thank you.
I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with the whole accountability court model, but essentially what it is we take offenders who have mental health problems or drug problems, we get them out of the jails, and we get them the treatment that they need, whether that's seeing a psychiatrist or going to rehab or medication. It's a specialized probation where that they're not in jail, cycling through the jail, and they can get the help that they need. Like I said, the mental health court in Troup County began in 2013, and now it's more of a circuit-wide approach where we're hoping to expand into each county within our circuit so that we can help the people in need. And we have had a lot of success in Troup County. We've graduated 30 participants and reconnected them with their families. We have people who had cases with defects who didn't think they would ever get their kids back again, and now they were reconnected with their children. So we've seen a lot of success. And also drug court, our felony drug court program has been going since 2011. Same thing, a lot of success, getting people clean, getting people reconnected with their families and out of our jails, which saves us a lot of money. I was approached by the DA's office about starting a mental health court and drug court here in Meriwether County. They expressed that there is a need for the accountability courts here. I don't think that you have any in Meriwether County right now, so I just wanted to share this information with you because it is grant season. I know some people were talking about grants earlier. I write the grants for the accountability courts in Troup and Carroll, and if you guys would want a program here or both programs here, our grants for the state come out next week, and we'll start that process. We have about a month to get those turned in. But just wanted to approach you guys and give you information and see if you had any questions for us about what that would look like. And Mary Beth is actually the treatment provider from Pathways. She has been on the drug court team, mental health court team, and they're also our treatment provider in Carroll County as well. We've had a lot of success with them as our treatment provider. So it's a lot of people in your area already with a lot of experience that we just want to get out there and help the people that we can help who are in need.
Chairman, I'd like to add one thing. As a criminal defense attorney in Muskogee County, we have the accountability courts. And not only does it help the individuals in a more proactive way, the numbers are real. The recidivism rates are drastically reduced for people that have gone through these accountability courses.
Right.
It's really something that, I suggest we look at.
Sure, I would suggest that we get back in touch, maybe a couple of board members.
Yes.
And our staff with Tiffany, and we probably need to bring in, I don't know who we think, from the judge, because I know you got to have a commitment
Yes.
from the judge as well. So we'll need to try to work on that.
Right.
Yeah, and of course, Sheriff, we'd like to have him involved. Sure. So if we could, we'd like to go ahead and get a meeting set up.
Absolutely.
And if we could get
Okay. Okay.
I can reach you, or your office.
My main office is in Troup,
Okay.
so you can reach me there,
Okay.
and I'll get my information for you. Okay.
And what was the deadline, or when does the grant start?
The grant will be released around, they gave us the around February 19th, which is next week, but they give us about a month to do that.
So, we need to move on this
Right.
quickly, though.
Right.
And I understand you will write the grants yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Every year, I write the grants, and since we became one circuit mental health court, I've written the grants for all 3 counties.
Great.
Any other questions for Ms. Benton?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sheriff, since you missed roll call, we'll just give you a little time right now if you need it.
Yeah, thank you. I want to ditto everybody else having Valentine's.
Right.
I hope everybody's sweet to everybody. From my standpoint, I hope so. I got all I can feed right now, so just sweet to everybody. And also, just, if you hadn't noticed, the county line of Troup on the 109, there's Woodbury right now, trash is all picked up along the state right now. So right now, the state routes are being picked up as far as paper. And like I said, we're being as diligent as we possibly can. You do see, I did see that work in progress this morning, and I saw it yesterday, so. That being said, thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. We do know we have a need for executive session. I think that's all public comment. Future meetings and notices, just a quick reminder, next Monday is a holiday, President's Day. I can't believe it.
I'm sorry, I missed the whole thing.
But I picked up on that. And of course, our next meeting will be February 27th at 6 p.m. for a regular meeting. With that being said, I hear a motion, we go into executive session.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?